Deflation is coming onto people's minds right now, especially in the Eurozone. I'm talking today about a collapse, a real collapse that is occurring right now before our very eyes. This has historically gone on many times before. Currencies do not last forever. And how this happens is always the controllers taking advantage of their ability to print and manipulate the currency supply, and they destroy it. Let's take a look right here at the ECB imposing negative interest rates. Here it is. Your cash will be devalued immediately. As soon as you put that money into the bank, it is immediately declining in its value. That is a negative interest rate. So what they're saying is that these measures that they're imposing are going to be able to get the inflation rates up to 2%, and that's going to get everything going somehow. Let's take a look further in. Draghi unveils historic measures against deflation threat. And they said the ECB cut the deposit rate to minus 0.1%. So they're actually going, this is the start of negative interest rates, and they're saying that of course, this is going to give the jump start that they need, but minus 0.1 isn't going to be enough. They're going to have to keep going down and down and down, and somehow this was going to force people to put their money into somewhere else other than keep it in the bank. They're going to have to choose riskier and riskier investments, and ultimately lose the insurance that they have on their safe deposits, even though that really we all know what the FDIC is capable of. And that is not much. Let me go into other things and connect the dots here. You know that despite the fact that this should be a warning to everyone that the economy isn't doing well, that they have to go to such drastic measures just to keep it going. Record rise for stocks before employment report. The stocks hit an all-time high again, as they continue to do, even though things are looking very grim right now. And the fact remains is that as long as you have central bankers willing to print to infinity, willing to do anything they need to, the stocks will continue to go up in price. But the second they receive a signal that they are unwilling to continue to print money and all of these interest rate manipulation and all this stuff, there are going to be a massive decline in the price of these stocks. That's just the way it is. So let's go on. This is Janet Yellen, something I've quoted many times before. If it were positive to take interest rates to negative territory, I would be voting for that. And that's Janet Yellen prior to becoming the chairman. And I had predicted already that she was going to become the chairman. It was pretty obvious that when she's willing to take such a drastic measure here with going a negative interest rate, she's saying that she wants that. I had already predicted she's going to become the next chairman. In this video here I mentioned it, in other videos I mentioned it as well. Take a look at that if you want to see. I'll put the link in the description. But basically they said for sure that she wants the negative interest rate, she would vote for it. That's pretty obvious. You know, when they're willing to destroy everything that is a resemblance of some sound money, they have to get rid of it. That's just the way this has been working. What about RBC offering negative interest rates on the Danish krone and the Swiss franc? Right here, negative interest rates on those currencies, and they're saying that they're going to impose some negative interest rates on some customers who are holding these, and so on and so forth. They are doing this all across the board. It isn't just the ECB. It isn't just Switzerland. It is all over the world. That's how this works. These measures are imposed from a higher power, and let's get into that for a second. The IMF that the SNB may need to introduce negative interest rates. And then you look one sentence below that, it says that the SNB has also said it's ready to take some additional steps to do this in order, including negative interest rates. Of course, they're going to do whatever their controllers are telling them what to do. It's pretty obvious. They do not make any of the decisions for themselves, and this goes for every country around the world. Look how they're doing this. Negative interest rates are your signal to get the money out. If you have any money in the system, it is pretty obvious to me. If it's not for the bailouts, if it's not for the bail-ins, now we have this threat of negative interest rates heading towards us, and this doesn't even factor in real interest rates, because if you do, we actually have negative interest rates already, but now they're going actually on the books, on the numbers, going with negative interest rates. That's the warning signal that you need. Take a look at the Money GPS Insiders. You gotta get on here. This is where there are now hundreds and hundreds of people joined up here. I'm very excited to get that information out to people. It's basically short emails, and you can read them in about a minute or two and get the information that you need. You can forward it off to your friends and family. I hope to see you there. It is at themoneygps.com at the bottom. Fill in your email address. Take care.